How about this? A Miami woman charged with attempted murder after allegedly setting fire to her Tinder date. I guess it makes you be a little bit more cautious of Tinder. It's kind of also, there's a weird level of irony to this, considering the logo for Tinder is like a flame.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it weird. Destiny Lenai Johnson, a 25-year-old woman from Miami, is facing serious felony charges, including attempted murder after an incident involving her Tinder date. The shocking incident occurred outside a hotel in Kendall, Florida, leading to Johnson's arrest. According to Miami-Dade County records reviewed by People, Johnson was arrested on November 25th and charged with attempted murder, first-degree arson, and aggravated battery causing great bodily harm. Johnson pled not guilty to these charges, and she's currently being held without bail at the Miami-Dade County Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center. The arrest report, as reported by local sources, included the Miami-Herald, local NBC6, and WSVN. It provides a disturbing account of the incident. Johnson and her alleged victim had arranged to meet at a Holiday Inn Express and Suites Hotel. However, things took a terrifying turn when Johnson, seemingly irate, approached her date's car carrying a 1-gallon jug of liquid. It's always weird.
Ask you a Tinder question?
I don't know if I'm going to answer it or I know how to answer it. I tried Tinder about 2 years ago when I was single, or prior to being, when I was single. I mean, yeah, prior to meeting my fiance, and I didn't like it. But yeah, what's your question?
So, well, and I've never been on the dating apps because I've been married this entire time. Tinder is the dating app. Grindr is different, right? Like Grindr is for hookups.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that
Tinder,
either, and I'm okay not knowing. But I'm just wondering, why are you meeting at a hotel?
I'm not gonna Google this either because I don't want that on my history. I don't know. I could be completely wrong on this, but I thought Grindr was
for gay hookups, maybe
for the gay community. And I thought Tinder was kind of both. I thought they're both kind of about the same, but more. Again, people are like laughing at us right now, going, you know.
I know, and we're showing our age a little bit.
Forgive us, yeah. It was just kind of like a meet people thing, but there was more, I guess, adventurous people, if you'd say, of like what you would find on there, of like what people were looking for on Tinder 2+ years ago when I attempted it, and I never met anybody through it or anything like that. But it was kind of like I was never a hookup person. So I was curious, like, what are all these apps these days? A couple years ago. But I don't know the exact answer to that question.
And I'm not going to say that you're asking for trouble. I'm not a blame the victim kind of person here, but if you're going to meet at a Holiday Inn Express, you're expecting something to happen. I mean, and not be set on fire, but it sounds like a hookup.
You're expecting a delicious breakfast. You're expecting a waffle maker where you can pour the waffle batter on there and flip it while there's 7 children waiting in line screaming at you.
You've done this.
Tossing oranges.
There's some good restaurants that are connected to Holiday Inn Expresses. I mean,
are there?
Yeah, we've got one where I live that it's a really good restaurant, actually. They've got an amazing fish fry.
Are you talking about, wasn't that a Tony Roma's once?
You're thinking the one down the road. This one used to be a Green Mill.
Green Mill. I forgot about Green Mill.
It used to be. It closed, but now it's some sort of a charcoal type restaurant. I mean, it's a grill. It's a really good place. Their food is excellent. So I get that, but I guess if they had arranged to meet at a restaurant, they would have said a restaurant, not the hotel.
You would think, like, hey, we're meeting at the. Did Tony Roma's even exist anymore? Is that still a thing?
I think so.
Was the Green Mill a chain?
Far between. Yeah. They were good restaurants, man.
Things took a terrifying twist when Johnson, seemingly irate, approached the date's car carrying that 1-gallon jug of liquid. According to the arrest report, Johnson asked her date for money to repair her car, but then began yelling, claiming that someone was after her. She allegedly proceeded to pour gasoline into the passenger side of her date's SUV. That's what the gallon of liquid was. and ignited it with a lighter. It wasn't a bottle of Snapple. She wasn't bringing Snapple for refreshment. As a result, both Johnson and the victim caught fire. This sounds like the towering fucking inferno, which I have a story about that in a little bit. Johnson reportedly fled the scene while the victim sought help at the hotel's front desk. He was subsequently transported to a local hospital to receive treatment for burns. As detailed in the arrest report, following the incident, police reportedly found Johnson in a state of undress, discussing having blown up a car. She, too, was taken to a local hospital for treatment for her burns. Miami-Dade court records indicate that Johnson's next court appearance is scheduled for December 18th. At the time, the Miami-Dade public information officer has not responded to requests for comment on the case. So that's where that sits.
Wow.
The story I have on Towering Inferno for the 15% of the audience who knows that movie from the 80s. Or was it 70s? I don't know.
I'm going to look that one up.
Towering
I remember
Inferno. It was like Die Hard-ish, kind of, but not.
1974.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Look at you go. Paul Newman and Steve McQueen.
It was before I was even born.
Yeah.
I remember, this is back in the day where you go to a TV and appliance store and every television is running a movie. They're not just running like generic butterflies and HD images and shit like that. They'd run action movies in the 80s.
Yeah, because you could see how good the TV looked.
It's like, oh my God, look at the Towering Inferno. And I remember my parents looking at a television, probably like a nice big 14-inch or something of that nature. And I remember sitting there like, oh, just watch TV, Tony. It'll be fun. The fucking Towering Inferno is playing on beta. And I'm still traumatized to this day by that movie. The specific scene where, and if you want to go watch a traumatizing movie, go watch the fucking Towering Inferno. It's a hotel that burns. Big tower. People burn to death in the movie. And it's
They're
graphic.
jumping out, right?
They're jumping out. But there's one scene like where they're in a suite and the smoke's coming in and they're putting towels by the door and the flames come in. And then suddenly the flames make it into the room and they're all burning alive. And they're just like, it's horrible. It's horrible. The only worst scene I've ever seen of a burn scene in a movie to this day is Final Destination, the original. Where the plane,
I have not seen that.
You don't want to. Where the plane goes down and it's very graphic. It makes you not want to fly like ever again. Because it's a very graphic scene of probably what it's like to go down in an airplane as flames slowly encapsulate your body. But Towering Inferno was the first one that made me very much respect fire. Maybe every 4-year-old should see that and go, this is why we don't play with fire.
That's a great way to teach a kid and make them need therapy for the rest of their lives.
Well, I mean, when we go to driving school, they show us the fucking movies of, the horrible accidents. Why not do it to this? Don't play with fire. Don't play with the matches, kids, because here's what could happen. Sometimes you need a little trauma in your life to keep you from doing horrible things. But
yeah, and then on a really bad down note, 9/11 sounds very much like the Towering Inferno.
No, there was no planes in Towering Inferno. There wasn't terrorists. It was like a grease fire or something that lit the hotel on fire. But it was a tower without a doubt. And they got trapped, and it was horrific.
Yuck.
But this too sounds like a horrific situation where your lover at the Holiday Inn Express comes over and you think, oh, they're bringing Snapple. And it turns out
they're not.
Guess what, kids? It's gasoline. So, yeah, not a good situation. Wonder if they had a lot of vacancies that night at the Holiday Inn.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on True Crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.